Jason Cummings has come out and said it was an easy call to switch his allegiance from Scotland to Australia. And my response to that, in the great words of the feed from Still Game, get it right up, you funny bastard! Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And honestly, man, screw Jason Cummings. He's came out and he said that it was an easy decision. It was an easy choice for him to decide that he no longer wants to play for Scotland and that he wants to switch to Australia. Look, first of all, no matter what his reason is, if he decides that he no longer wants to play for Scotland, then I don't want him to play for Scotland ever again. I don't give a shit what the reason is. If he has woken up one day and he's decided, you know what, I don't feel like playing for Scotland, that I feel like playing for a different country, then he's out. I don't want him back. He can go. But the reason Jason Cummings gave for this was he said that Scotland don't qualify for World Cups and Australia do. So, I mean, I guess this is kind of like glory hunting, I guess. It's like this is kind of like going for money in terms of like international football. Obviously, club football, you know, players will maybe go to a lesser team. You've seen players like leave Scotland and go to teams that aren't as big in England, but they get more money. This is kind of a bit similar to that, but on an international level. He's leaving Scotland, who, let's be honest, are a bigger side than Australia, bigger national football team than Australia. I would say we are a better team than Australia. I honestly believe that. I don't even think it's close, to be honest. I'm not saying Australia's bad, but I do genuinely believe that we are better. And if we had the same qualification route as Australia, then we would be qualifying for every World Cup. Australia, they had it easy. They threw the Oceania system, and then it changed, and they ended up playing through the Asian continent system. But either way, you know, they've always had it easy. It doesn't really matter which qualifying route they've had. You know, they've always had it way too easy, and that is why they're at every World Cup. But let's talk about World Cups. Look, at the end of the day, World Cups are once every 4 years. And let's be real, yeah, I mean, Australia, more often than not, they don't get out the groups. Now, sometimes they do, but even if they do get out the groups, they don't go much further than that. You know, last 16, I think, is the best they've ever done. If I'm wrong on that, then you know what, maybe I am. But let's be honest, more often than not, most World Cups, you would not expect to see Australia past the last 16. So, I mean, Jason Cummings is literally saying that it's worth trading away your nationality, it's worth trading away your entire international footballing career just for 4 games or 3 games every 4 years. For me, I mean, I don't agree with that whatsoever. First of all, wouldn't it feel good if you actually managed to help your country? Imagine you actually helped Scotland get to a World Cup. Wouldn't you feel the pride? Wouldn't you feel the joy? Wouldn't that give you satisfaction? Wouldn't that mean everything to you, rather than just, you know what, I'm going to swap countries and go to Australia, who are easily going to qualify? I mean, whether Cummings joins Australia or not, Australia's going to be at the next World Cup, you know, so I don't really see the satisfaction in that. Personally, if it was me, I would take everything from getting my country to the World Cup. And another thing, it's like, yeah, Australia might be in the World Cup, but look at who they're playing against. You know, look at the games that Australia play. How many big games do Australia play outside of the World Cup? Like I said, their qualifying format sucks. I think they've got, the Gold Cup or the Asian Cup, but that can't compare to the Euros. At least with Scotland, you've got 2 major competitions, so it's every 2 years you've got a chance of qualifying for 2 major competitions. You've got the Euros, then the World Cup, then the Euros, then the World Cup, and look at the games that you play trying to qualify for them. I mean, the European qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, how many memorable nights have you seen Scotland playing at Hampden or playing away, where you've got big games? You'll see Scotland versus Germany, or Scotland versus Spain, Scotland versus Italy. These are massive games, and they're not even in the actual tournament. These are just qualifiers. How many big games do Australia have, honestly? Oh, do you remember that time Australia played fucking, you know, some shitey team we can't even pronounce? I mean, really? So yeah, Jason Cummings, he can talk about it was an easy call, but at the end of the day, yeah, it might be good. You might get to play in the World Cup once every 4 years, but you take that away, then who's got the what international career would you rather have? Would you rather be playing for Scotland, where you're constantly playing big games against big European teams, great European teams like Germany, Spain, Italy, France, all those guys, or would you rather be playing in Asian qualifiers and Asian Cups against absolute diddy teams from that side of the world? So yeah, I mean, Jason Cummings, he can do whatever he wants. He's also said he's going to try and convince his current teammate to switch allegiances from Australia. From Scotland to Australia, and so be it, whatever. And another thing, it's like Angus Gunn currently, he postponed playing for Scotland because he wanted to play for England, and now he's decided to, take the Scotland call up. Personally, I don't want him in the team. If Scotland wasn't good for him last year, or good enough 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if we weren't good enough back then in my opinion, we're not good enough now. I don't want someone playing for us now just because they've accepted that maybe they're not going to get a call up for England. I've no interest in that. So yeah, if you don't want to play for Scotland, unless Scotland's your first choice, then in my opinion, you don't have a choice. You Scotland first or not at all. So yeah, guys, that's my opinion. And as for Jason Cummings, if he really thinks being an Australian international footballer gives you a better national career than being Scottish, then that's up to him. But I personally disagree. For me, I think the likes of, look at the current Scotland team. We're going to qualify for Euros. We got to Euro 2022, and it might have been our first in a long, long time, but it won't be our last. I'm telling you, we will regularly be at tournaments, and I do think we will qualify for a World Cup. I don't know when, but I can see maybe even the next one. I do. I think it's only a matter of time before we get back to a World Cup on the grandest stage, and we'll do it the hard way. We'll do it through the European qualifying system, not the garbage Australian system where the likes of Japan and Australia. It's pretty much impossible for them not to qualify. Anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, peace.